take the lead of every step I make, even if you tell my feet to wait. 'Cause where you are is where I wanna be. The depth of me is calling for the deep. I don't want it if you're not in it. I just want you.
Well, good morning, Lufkin Central and Online Worship Community. Jason Hollinger, the campus and community minister here. And hey, I'm wearing one of the shirts of yet another partner for Street Ministries. It's called City Connections, the Hunger Relief Army. And man, they blessed us with some meals I talked about yesterday and our recording for Jesus and Coffee a little later in the day, done a little differently. That's okay. We are getting back to our thoughts through the Sermon on the Mount that I've titled "I Just Want You." Based off the song that you hear part of it here at the beginning and some of it here at the end. And what we are for this, what we're looking at today is Matthew chapter 5, verses 17 through 20. And so in this, as we continue through the Sermon on the Mount, we've talked about salt and light. We've talked about the Beatitudes, talked about salt and light, and you get to this section that he says, "Don't think that I've come to abolish the law or the prophets, or or destroy." And even the words, "I have come." For Jesus to make this statement, really what is at the heart of that phrase is this idea of traveling to or moving towards all of us at some point, either this month or next month. We will be the ones either traveling or will possibly have some travel to us for the holidays. And so that's kind of this idea of moving towards, of these words that he's saying right here. Jesus not saying, I just showed up in this moment. I say, here I am. He's been moving towards this in really in every way throughout Scripture, from Genesis to Revelation, and especially from Genesis to Matthew chapter, for us, Matthew chapter 5, verse 17, this moment in time, all the groundwork, everything, through, as he says, through the law and the prophets, or as other translations say, through the Scriptures. And some say, don't misunderstand. Don't misunderstand or think that I came to destroy this. I came to destroy the law, the Torah, the legal characteristics that guided the people of God, or the prophets. Think of the entire Hebrew Scriptures before the New Testament. We either heard about or from prophets throughout the Hebrew Scriptures. And so he's saying, I have not arrived at this moment to destroy that. I have not arrived at this moment to destroy everything that has been built, everything, all the groundwork, everything that has been laid out. He says, don't think I came to destroy this. This was not my intention. He says, because make no mistake, not the smallest letter, and iota, the smallest letter of the Greek alphabet. He goes, not even a jot, or a jot. Nothing. Whether it's a long drawn out command scripture, or something just so simple that we may think, oh, that's a minor one. It's not as important as these major ones. He says nothing until heaven and earth disappear, until they are no more. He says, don't think that I came to destroy them, or abolish them. He said, I came to fulfill them. I came to complete them, to help bring a finality to the proclamation of everything that God has been doing, as everybody is saying. And so he's speaking to the importance of these scriptures, especially going forward, as we're going to talk about in the coming days, of what he's been referring to. He says, because listen, if anyone sets aside one of the least of these commands, remember the smallest letter the least stroke of a pen. He says that if anyone, you know, attempts to just set them aside, they're not important. They're you know they're just not this setting groundwork. They're not a real obligation, not a big deal. He says if anybody sets aside even the least of these commands and teaches others to do that as well. Some powerful language here. It says you're going to be called least in the kingdom of heaven. You're going to be called least in the kingdom of heaven. And so, and a lot of what this speaks to is especially you have these leaders, these religious leaders, if you will, that were binding things on others within the community that they weren't binding on themselves. No matter how major or minor they may be, they were above it. And so they were teaching others accordingly within their ranks of leaders. They were teaching others this way, other mankind, other leaders this way, and really what they were teaching, even those that they were enforcing laws on them that they weren't enforcing on themselves. They're teaching them that there's different standards. And what's powerful is what happens in this moment of what they're saying is those religious leaders, they're saying you're the least. And what God says is when you seek to do away with my commands and not apply them to yourself, you are going to be called least. And so what I think about in this sense of how, the practices in which we live, it says whoever practices and teaches these commands will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. The way that we not just speak, but the way we live things out, the way we show others what it means to be kingdom people, that matters, because their view of God is seen through the way we teach and practice, where we live. He says, for I tell you that unless your righteousness surpasses that of the Pharisees and the teachers of the law, right? So you can't, just because they are not enforcing the laws among themselves and they're forcing on you, you've got to be bigger. You've got to be bigger than that. You can't just, you can't just say, well, if they can do it, we can do it too. And so he's saying you have to rise above your character, your words, the way you live out your words. You need to rise above. You need to live these things out. You need to be better than that. And so I think about our challenge for today. How can you rise above through all the noise, through everything that's going on around? How can you rise above all of that and be, in spite of how others may seek everything to just keep you down, and how others may try everything they can to keep you in your place, or just to discourage you all day long? How are you going to rise above them? Because ultimately, the way in which you do this, especially as a child of God, matters. Because when others see you, when you carry that title, that name, Christian, that's the way they're going to see God. I can't wait to hear and see how it goes. Y'all have a great day. God bless.
I don't want it if you're not in it. I just want you. Your heart, your ways, show me your face, your song and your voice break through the noise. I don't want it if you're not in it. I just want you. No, I don't want it if to discover all you are. I'm leaning into heaven for a glimpse, and I will partner with your presence here again. I don't want it if you're not in it. I just want you. I don't want it if you're not in it. I just want you. Your heart, your ways, show me your face, your song and your voice. Break through the noise. I don't want it if you're not in it. I just want you. No, I don't want it if you're not in it. I just want you. Just want you, God. All that I see, be my everything. All that I dream, lay it at your feet.